Hello and welcome to the cryptocurrency news channel. We got a problem now. The problem is not that the Bitcoin price is really high. That's really good. The problem is exchanges, and not just Coinbase, are slow going down or crashing. And this is to be expected, but I thought I'd do a video because I know there's going to be many complaints about this. Coinbase, last time I checked, was up, but it did go down earlier today. And the service, I think, for Coinbase has been at best intermittent. But you can't just blame Coinbase and saying they're running some kind of scam. I read reports that Binance is experiencing a couple of problems, and Kraken went down as well. Not really sure about Bittrex and the others. I haven't really checked them, but it seems like all these exchanges are actually going down in these big bull runs. That's actually not very surprising. Remember, all these exchanges are centralized. They run on centralized servers. They're very, very fast unless the capacity actually overflows their ability to actually handle that capacity, which is exactly what's happening right now. Centralized servers have a limited capacity. The database has limited capacity, and the RAM, the GPU, everything, unlike decentralized services, have very, very limited capacity. So once you flow over that, you either need to expand and scale your servers, or you're going to crash. And they can't do it that fast, so they crash. Now, some of you might be wondering, why don't they just have that extra capacity available? Well, it's because the extra capacity does cost money, and like 95% of the time they don't need it, so they just can't have like extra servers sitting there just running and costing them money while they're actually not using it. So this is almost bound to happen. I do think like these exchanges, like any other business, kind of average out what they need, and then they plan for some extra capacity above that. But during a major rush like what you're seeing now, there's just no way they can handle all this extra capacity that just has come in all of a sudden. Just basically impossible for them to handle. So they are really, really crashing at this point. Don't think it's a scam or anything. If you've ever worked with servers, websites, and stuff like that before, you know that if you get a massive spike of traffic, sometimes your site goes down, and this is the exact same thing. And they can't really just scale and descale that quickly. So what should you do? There is the DEX option, but let me remind you that for most DEXs, they trade mostly in ERC20, and the Ethereum fee is extremely high right now. So unless you're trading $10,000 plus in a single trade, those transaction fees are going to eat up your profits. So day trading with DEXs is really not a thing right now, because day trading with DEXs, those fees would just kill you at this point. So essentially, I would, if you're having like large dollar amount of trades, I would push through with like the $50 fee if you're making a trade, because if you're pushing through with like 10,000 bucks or more on a trade, that's gonna like spending extra $50 per transaction isn't really that much, and it definitely gets you that trade when you actually want the trade. And if you don't, you might just miss out on the big boat. If you miss out on the big boat, you're gonna miss out on a lot of money. And trust me, like losing like $1,000 over like 2 minutes of down trading is much worse than losing $50 on that transaction. Yes, it does suck, but that's just what it is. And the thing is, like, even if you can't cash out on the DEX, I'm not aware of any DEX that has actually a USD or fiat option traded into a stablecoin. Now, if you can get USDC, grab that USDC. I think it's much better than USDT. But if you can't get USDC, USDT might actually be an option, because they've been after Tether for like 2.5 years. They still really haven't done anything, and you've been able to trade the USDT. I think it's a little shaky right now with the whole like banking bill stuff, and I would get USDC or Paxos Standard if I could, but if I had to, I would actually trade into USDT if you're actually willing to trade. Like I said, if you're trading more than like like $10,000, I would go ahead and make that USDC/USDT trade. They both trade on Ethereum on a DEX. If the thing is, if you're not trading that much, I might actually I just might look to keep some of your money spread across a couple of the centralized exchanges that have USD and see which one is up. At least you'll be able to sell for a bit then. But I just want to make sure that you know that if your account on the centralized exchanges, if the centralized exchange service is a little bit jumpy right now, it's not just you, it's everyone else. It's not just your exchange, it's every single exchange right now, because they cannot handle a bull run traffic. This happened last time in 2017, and it's happening again. And also the Bitcoin and Ethereum blockchains are also very busy, so the transactions could take a long time to do. So don't get nervous. It's happening to everyone, and it'll sort itself out. But things need to calm down, and they do need to expand their capacity. So that is the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you, and have a nice day.